Hello everyone, today is 24th of December, Tuesday. Now it's about 9 o'clock in the morning, Moscow time. I'm Levan Gudadze and this is my first update for the day in which I'll share all the main news that are making headlines in Russian media outlets and Russian language pages on different internet platforms. Later on today, I will publish a second news update on my Patreon and Boosty pages with all the additional main news that Russian media will report about. And if you are looking for more news from Russia, more commentary, or if you like my work and want to support in the long term, you're more than welcome to join our community on Patreon and Boosty. Links are on this video in the description box and in the pinned comment. A monthly subscription on Patreon starts from $5. That's being said, well, it is time to start news update. Although first of all, let me congratulate all the members of our community who celebrates, and everybody who celebrates Christmas on 25th of December. A great celebration, of course, and happy Christmas, dear friends. We Orthodox Christians will celebrate on 7th of January, as you know. So, happy Christmas. Let's talk about news now, and first of all I want to share with you this report from RIA Novosti that early hours this morning there was explosions in Kiev. According to some sources, air defense was active over there, in area of capital of this former Soviet Republic. No precise information what exactly has happened, what targets were neutralized by Russian long-range missiles or potentially drones. Just a report that there was explosions. Also on some sources I read this morning a report that during the night, early hours of this morning, Russian militaries also conducted long-range precise strikes on an airfield in Starokonstantinov, western Ukraine, and in some other areas. Potentially during the day we will learn some more details about these strikes, and of course I will share additional information in my next updates and on my Telegram channel and page on Twitter X. Also, we have TASS News Agency's report that Russian armed forces, Russian Defense Ministry basically confirmed information about progress of the Russian armed forces in Starozhevoye area, which is South Donetsk sector of the front line on the southern flank of Velika and Novoselovka settlement. I reported about this progress of the Russian armed forces yesterday, and now we have official confirmation from Defense Ministry that Starozhevoye is completely liberated by Russian forces. Also, we have this report from RIA Novosti that Russian armed forces established full control over their Severny micro district in Chisov Yar. Severny means north, Severny northern micro district. So progress in Chisov Yar direction is also obvious, maybe not as rapid as on other sectors of the front line, but still it is a progress, and I guess it's only a matter of potentially weeks, 1 or 2 weeks, and Russian armed forces will fully liberate Chisov Yar. Also interesting news that from Vzгляд newspaper that Russian aerospace forces receive additional batch of Su-34 frontline bombers and Su-57 5th gen fighter jets. No precise information about quantity of these new planes that join Russian aerospace forces, but I guess each batch was at least several planes, and both, by the way, Su-34s and Su-57s already proved that they are extremely capable platforms to deliver significant blow to enemies. Meanwhile, when it comes to military additional deliveries into armed forces and the military spendings, of course, US is unmatched in this regard, and we have this report that Biden approved their defense budget for US for 2025, and you guess what is the number, by the way? $895 billion for 2025. US, as you know, US spends on Pentagon more than next 10 countries, by the way, combined. And this is what is openly known. In reality, spendings are, I guess, at least several hundred billion more if you account for some black ops and undisclosed spendings. And once Trump is in office, of course, this number will further increase because he's, already promising that he will be focused on, defense, and spendings will increase, obviously. And I guess it's only a matter of a year or two, and officially, U.S. will have about $1 trillion for most likely over $1 trillion for Pentagon every single year, which is I don't know, man, insane amount of money that is going basically mainly in pockets of multinational corporations and military industrial complex of the US, and of course in the pockets of corrupt officials in the Pentagon and outside of Pentagon, right? We all know that. RT, meanwhile, is reporting that Trump's advisor says that Ukraine narrative is changing. The stance taken by the EU and NATO nations on handling the Ukrainian conflict has changed since Donald Trump won the US presidential election in November, according to Representative Mike Wells, and then quote, "We've seen everybody's narrative go from as long as it takes, blank check, don't dare say anything else, or you are somehow pro-Russian, to how do we get this to a deal?" The Florida lawmaker, who is slated to serve as a national security advisor in the incoming administration, told political commentator Ben Shapiro on Sunday. He was on Ben Shapiro's show. Of course, many of you are familiar with this personality, Ben Shapiro. Daily Wire is experiencing some difficulties nowadays. Candace Owens left this project not long ago. Recently, another star, Brett Cooper, left this project. Although these two personalities left her, differently. There was a scandal when Candace Owens left her. Brett Cooper left, with lesser conflicts, if any. But Daily Wire definitely is experiencing some difficulties, maybe even a downfall. But still, they are big in US, and Mike Waltz went to Ben Shapiro's show, and he made quite a few interesting statements there, including this one, that according to his experience, many extreme Russophobes, I will interpret this way, many extreme Russophobes that just a couple of months ago were all about as long as it takes, and blank checks, and we stand with the Kiev regime forever, to a current position that, how should they resolve this issue and go out from these waters, unscathed, from the shallow waters. And well, that is interesting. That is interesting for sure. Publicly, many extreme Russophobes in the West still are making some crazy statements, but privately, I guess they are talk very different, at least with their members of their future administration of a US. Good to know. And of course, nowadays everybody is talking about potential conversation between Trump and Putin, even meeting between the two. And just a couple of days ago, Trump himself said, I believe, that he's planning to have a meeting with the Russian president and also head of Kiev regime Zelensky, and the aide of Russian president, assistant of the Russian president, Yuri Ushakov, stated that several countries already proposed to host meeting between Trump and Vladimir Putin once Donald Trump is inaugurated and will take the office in the White House. No disclosure here about which countries propose to host such a meeting, but we can guess Hungary definitely can be one of them, Slovakia for sure. A few countries in Middle East, Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, potentially India, by the way. I spoke about this topic yesterday in second update on my Patreon page, on update there. And yes, I mean, there is clearly several countries that can mediate or host such a meeting. Although, first of all, I guess once Trump will take office, there will be phone conversation between the two, maybe even before 20th of December, before inauguration of the Trump. Sides might have a phone conversation to exchange opinions about certain topics, and after Trump's inauguration, in months or 2 months time, we might see tete-a-tete talk between the two, face-to-face, a meeting between the two. I guess it will be helpful. I guess, although of course, Russian side will be cautious, as it should, because at least for now, Western so-called elites broke practically every deal that they sign up for, right? So I guess Russian leadership will struggle to trust, anybody from the collective West right now, and any agreement, right? Because of their experience. But talks definitely are better than war. That's for sure. So maybe once Trump is in office, there will be some talks between the sides, and we will see the escalation. I'm a bit skeptical about that. In my personal opinion, once Trump is in office, the US will come up with initiatives that will be absolutely or mostly unacceptable for Russian side, and at that point, Trump is under his inner circle, his administration will say, you know what, we try, and now because Moscow don't want to de-escalate, then now we will escalate. If it's not US and the West that was constantly escalating, right? And they will, try to blackmail Russia, but I don't think it will work, man. We will see, I'm quite sure we will see significant escalation between NATO and Russia before the escalation. So things are gonna get much worse than it is now before it will get any better, in my personal opinion, but I could be wrong, so we should wait and see. Meanwhile, yet another wannabe peacekeeper, Olaf Scholz, Chancellor of Germany, outgoing Chancellor of Germany, is once again demonstrating his Russophobia and extreme hatred of Russia. And we have this report that, Germany will provide Kiev regime with additional weapons, including 2 IRIS-T air defense systems, also some other air defense systems, and Leopard 1A5 tanks, 15 of them, and these tanks will be delivered together by Germany and Denmark. So that's the Scholz. That's Scholz, by the way, and his government. Just a few days ago, there was rumors, isn't it, that Scholz is planning to visit Russia to talk about peace, and I expressed my take on that situation. I said I hope Moscow will not allow Scholz to even cross the border, because he and everybody in his government are enemies of Russia and should never be allowed on Russian soil, ever, right? And we have confirmation of my take, right? Germany is sending more weapons against Russia, more weapons to Ukrainian Nazis and the fascists, right, and the terrorists. So it is clear, by the way, what kind of criminals are in charge of Germany right now. Although things might change, because according to latest studies in Germany, Scholz is losing, by the way, and losing big time, and not just to our main potential chancellor, main candidate to become chancellor of the Germany, which is head of or representative of Christian Democratic Union, Friedrich Merz, but also right now Scholz is losing to one of the leaders of AfD, Alternative for Deutschland or Alternative for Germany party, Elise Weidel, and she is now has 24% support, which is much more than Scholz's 15%. And who knows, by the way, me personally, I don't think Western ruling class will allow AfD to achieve victory in Germany and to have its own leader as a chancellor. It's not happening. Most likely, asset of CIA, this Friedrich Merz, will be next chancellor. Extreme Russophobe, by the way. So under his leadership, of course, relationships between Russia and Germany will deteriorate even further, obviously. But it is interesting to know that, well, society in Germany is definitely not on the same page with these CIA assets that are running and ruining Germany right now, including Scholz, obviously. Let's go through this news. The co-leader of the right-winger AfD, Alternative for Germany party, Alice Weidel, is ahead of her rivals in the campaign to become the next chancellor, according to the latest survey conducted by INSA Polling Institute for a Bild media outlet. The result of the poll, published by the tabloid newspaper on Sunday, showed that the Weidel has support of 24% of respondents, putting her ahead of leader of Germany's Christian Democratic Union, Friedrich Merz, who received 20%. The German Chancellor, current Chancellor Olaf Scholz, who represents the Social Democratic Party, was reportedly backed by 50% of respondents. His coalition partner and the Green Party leader, Robert Habeck, was favored by only 14%. So, as leader of AfD is leading this chart also, but yet again, I guess Western ruling class will definitely do something, but will not allow AfD to become a main political force in Germany and to have their member as a chancellor. I mean, this is not happening, by the way. And when Western ruling class have quite a number of means to interfere and influence these developments. After all, we just saw like a couple of weeks ago what happened in Romania, isn't it? Personality that was relatively unknown worldwide actually won first tour of presidential elections, and because he is not necessarily extreme Russophobe, not for further escalation with Russia, somewhat EU skeptic. Well, he was blackmailed, he was called the names, Russian asset and this and that. And recently I saw article, by the way, which claimed that that personality was backed by pro-Western party, actually. That has nothing to do with Russia. But nowadays, if you disagree with their main line of propaganda in the West, you are automatically called pro-Russian, right? Or Russian asset or whatever, That's the level of political class in the West at this moment. And I don't think the situation gonna get any better anytime soon. So therefore, what I want to say is that unfortunately, and by the way, in Romania, Constitutional Court actually made the decision to conduct presidential elections again, because West was not happy with the results, and they basically annul results of the first tour, and the presidential elections will take place again there. That's the democracy in a Western style, right? So something similar might happen in Germany also, if by chance AfD will gain really big support of public majority, for example. Western ruling class will destroy this party, by the way, and its leaders, but they will, or they will try to corrupt them and to start, one way or another, but to get in charge, in control. There is only these scenarios. Either Western ruling class will be in charge, and in that case, they might have no issues, right? Or else, right? They will destroy this party and its leaders, by the way. Anyways, let's continue. TASS news agency is reporting that according to Russia's Foreign Intelligence Service, President Western Asset and the President of Moldova, Maya Sandu, is losing her cool, losing emotional stability, and over Russia, by the way. And in her hysteria, anti-Russian hysteria, she was allegedly on one of the meetings even calling for preparations of military operation against Transnistria and against Russian peacekeepers in a region. So in relatively short time, we might see significant escalation in Moldova, between Moldova and Transnistria, and between Moldova and Russia. Also, it is clearly possibility. It depends what Romanian leadership will do, because I don't think Bucharest are really keen to end up in direct conflict with Russia, and they might end up in direct conflict with Russia if Sandu will provoke war between Russia and Moldova. And I remind you, dear friends, Moldova used to be part of Romania before Second World War. And many people in Moldova see themselves as Romanians. They want to join Romania, although many others think otherwise. And that's why I'm saying that Moldova as a state is finished. Just give it 5 to 10 years and there will be no more Moldova on the political map. It will get split. One part will join Moldova, Romania most likely, and there are other parts like Transnistria, Gagauzia, some other areas most likely will declare independence and eventually will get closer and closer to Russia, maybe even join Russia. Transnistria for sure. I don't know about Gagauzia. So, some interesting developments are taking place in Moldova, and there is and unfortunate, by the way, because there is a high risk, according to SVR, Russian SVR, that this unstable personality, Maya Sandu, emotionally unstable personality, may provoke actually war between Moldova and Transnistria and Moldova and Russia. And before I continue, dear friends, let me notice that this channel, or this project with several channels on YouTube, Rumble, Telegram, is completely subscriber funded. And if you like what you see, if you like my work, my channels, and if you think we deserve to exist in this field of news and political commentary, please consider to support this project with small donations through PayPal platform or through Boosty platform. You can see Boosty on your screen right now. After my account was blocked on Buy Me Coffee, I started using Boosty more actively, trying to at least. And it is a good platform, by the way, to be used for donations. And you can also subscribe on the page here, where I have plenty of additional content or bonus videos that you can see only here and on my Patreon page. And so yes, all the links to my PayPal, Boosty, Patreon, and crypto wallet is under this video in the description box and in the pinned comment. And many thanks to everybody who supported and continues to support this project. Truly grateful for this unique opportunity to work in this field, dear friends. So thank you. Let's talk about some more news now. And well, interesting developments are happening in Turkey. RIA Novosti is reporting that in Turkey and in the region, obviously, RIA Novosti is reporting that President of Turkey, Recep Tayyip Erdogan, plans to visit Syria in upcoming days with a huge delegation with ministers and some others. Well, it's gonna be big PR action on part of Turkey. Obviously, Syria has become a sort of colony of the Turkey at present times, right? Although, as I said many times before, by the way, my understanding is that Turkey had bought Syria is Turkey cannot deal with Syria, by the way. Turkey is no position economically, politically, many other ways to digest this bite, right? And so this hostile overtaking of Syria by Turkey may be beginning of the end of Turkey itself. That's my take on the situation, and we will see. We will find out. We will find out soon. And I guess already in a couple of months' time, we will see significant deterioration of the relationships between Turkey and countries in the Arab world, between Turkey and Russia. I guess many projects that Russia is doing in Turkey will suddenly start experience additional difficulties, including nuclear power plant that is in process of being built. This summer, Turkey may lack Russian tourists, and by the way, Russian tourists bring 10 to 15 billion US dollars to Turkish tourism industry every year, quite a lot, isn't it? So I guess some things will happen that will signal Turkish leadership that they made fatal mistake with their actions in Syria. That's how it is, by the way. Turkey have to be deterred and will be deterred one way or another, but I believe what Erdogan did in Syria is a beginning of the end of Turkey. He was dreaming about recreating Ottoman Empire. In reality, he will destroy Turkey. That's what he's going to do. And many people in Turkey will realize that soon. But for now, they are celebrating because they think they achieve historical victory by occupying basically Syria. But this celebration will not last long. Mark my words. RIA Novosti is also reporting that, according to Foreign Ministry spokesman in Iran, Russia and Moscow and Tehran may sign a comprehensive strategic cooperation agreement in January 2025, in a couple of weeks' time. And this is a big deal, obviously. This is a big deal, by the way, because this agreement might be somewhat similar to the one that Russia signed with North Korea. And that agreement with North Korea includes military cooperation and mutual military protection, right? And if similar points will be in agreement with Iran, then of course that might be game changer for the region, because if Iran has guarantees mutual protection pact with Russia, which means that attack on Iran will be interpreted by Moscow as attack on Russia. Of course, that might deter, theoretically speaking, by the way, that might deter Israeli leadership and also Western ruling class to attack this country and to provoke regional war, especially if after signing this agreement, Iranian leadership will ask Russia to deploy tactical nuclear weapons into Iran, tactical nuclear forces. But that will definitely deter everybody, right, that wants large-scale or full-scale war in this region. But let's go through this news. Moscow and Tehran may sign a comprehensive strategic partnership agreement in the second half of January. Iranian Foreign Ministry spokesman Ismail Beghai said at the weekly press conference, and this agreement may be signed on 19th of January 2025 to be more precise. I guess President of Iran will visit Russia for this time. We will find out soon, but this is the big, by the way. I'm 100% convinced that with the exception of Western ruling class and potentially Israel, no one else wants to see regional war in the Middle East, right? And definitely not, big member states, Russia, China, India, have, already expressed their positions that they are all about peace and want to see de-escalation in the Middle East, not an escalation, and therefore this agreement between Iran and Russia definitely can be step forward towards regional peace. Once again, especially if after signing this agreement, after some time, Tehran will ask Moscow to deploy in Iran Russian tactical nuclear forces. As Russia did in Belarus, by the way, for example. After Minsk asked about it, Russia deployed their tactical nuclear forces in Belarus, right? And according to Lukashenko, right now, somewhere in Belarus, there is dozens of Russian tactical nuclear weapons ready to be deployed. And it is deterrence, right? Because no one wants to mess around their nukes, really. No one sane. Anyways, let's continue. RT is reporting that Greenland, by the way, hits back at Trump's threats. So Greenland has rejected any idea of selling out to Washington after US President-elect Donald Trump said control over their Arctic island would be in his country's strategic and national interests. Their autonomous territory of Denmark is sparsely inhabited and mostly covered by snow and ice. Trump has raised the issue of buying the island in his first term at the White House. Greenland is ours. Their island's Prime Minister Mutter Egeder said in a statement quoted by AFP on Monday, "We are not for sale and will never be for sale. We must not lose our long struggle for freedom." Announcing their nomination of the new U.S. ambassador to Denmark on Sunday, Trump said that ownership and control of Greenland is an absolute necessity for the U.S. for purposes of national security and freedom throughout the world. So, Trump is serious, by the way, when it comes to Greenland, I guess, because time after time he's going back to this topic. Although one should understand that he loves to make some bold statements to threaten just about everybody, left and right. And he acts, I don't know, man. He's like a, kid that never grew up, He's under influence of some, I don't know, some movies where some tough guys are acting tough and stuff like that. Because, for politicians, for grown-up people, this is not the way to go, man. Grown-up people are acting differently, right? Especially people that really are tough in real life, right? They are not demonstrating it any way, shape, or form. They are most calm people you ever see. And so I don't know what is wrong with Trump, but he's making people nervous, in many areas of this world, including in Greenland. And well, let's see how leadership of Denmark will react on this topic also. But question is why? Why Trump or forces that are behind him are this focused on Greenland? What's going on? Because of their potential riches that might hide under the ice in Greenland, because of their potential northern maritime sea route that US might want to build there as a alternative to route to Russian northern sea route, which is operational, by the way, and gaining more and more attraction, and millions of tons of goods already being transported through the Russian northern sea route. Whatever the case, I don't think this topic is going away of Greenland, right? And if forces that are behind Trump are really serious about overtaking Greenland, I guess they will do it one way or another, but they're gonna do it because what Denmark or local authorities in Greenland gonna do about it? Let's be real here. What they can, nothing, right? Just make some statements and that's about it. So interesting. What the hell is going on around Greenland, man? But we will find out, I guess, soon. Meanwhile, by the way, we have this report that current president of Belarus, Alexander Lukashenko, have been registered as a candidate for upcoming presidential elections that will take place on 26th of January 2025. And hardly anybody has any doubts that he will most likely win that election. Although, by the way, I think Belarus is on a crossroads right now because there is many indicators to believe that, including statements from Lukashenko himself and a number of other high-ranking officials in Belarus and also in other countries, there is the reasons to believe that Belarus is on a crossroad because in next several weeks, you might see some significant provocations against Belarus from Western ruling class, and in these provocations, they definitely can and most likely will use Kiev regime. You remember just recently, I reported about new grouping of forces being created allegedly in Kiev-controlled territory with a square designation sign. And those units with that square designation sign was spotted in the Chernigov region. And Chernigov region is bordering with the Bryansk region of the Russian Federation and with Belarus. So theoretically speaking, it is definitely a possibility that Western ruling class, Western elites, NATO, will use Kiev regime to conduct some incursion into Belarus or some provocations, So Minsk should be definitely careful and ready for whatever provocations have been prepared by the West and the Kiev regime against them. And of course, Russia will stand with Belarus, no doubts about that, no matter what. RIA Novosti, meanwhile, is reporting that outgoing president of Georgia, Salome Zurabishvili, also a Western asset, by the way, is openly threatening government to with a coup d'etat. And this is not a joke, by the way. She is openly stated that Western-controlled opposition, so-called opposition, will overthrow government if ruling party will not listen to them and will not take their proposals. And if they will not agree on their ultimatum, basically, it's not even proposal. They are issuing ultimatums and demanding ruling party to agree with them. Yesterday, I reported that Zurabishvili demanded from ruling party to discuss with her next, yearly parliamentary elections. Ruling party, of course, ignoring this, and now Zurabishvili is threatening with a coup d'etat. Crazy, man, crazy what is happening in Georgia. I remind you, dear friends, that inauguration of president-elect in Georgia, Mikhail Pavelashvili, will take place on 29th of December, I believe. And so on very same day, Zurabishvili, I guess, have to leave office of president, but not Western-controlled other assets, or not other assets of the West in Georgia are planning to back down. They are all about regime change, right? And so Georgia is also on a crossroads still, by the way. It's about months now that this so-called opposition, Western-controlled groups are trying on daily basis to destabilize country and to conduct regime change. For now, they are failing, but who knows what plans they have for upcoming days or the weeks, right? So Georgia should be careful also, Georgian leadership, Georgian society, because these provocateurs, these Western assets are capable of anything, right? So that's how the situation is. And this is definitely nonsense, by the way. An outgoing president is openly threatening with overthrowing government. What the hell, man? What is going on there? It's like, I don't know, man. It's mad circus. That's what is happening there. And this news also, I guess, will be interesting for at least some members of our community who plans to travel to Russia in the near future. TASS News Agency is reporting that according to Russian lawmakers, basically, fate of YouTube in Russia depends on administration of the YouTube itself and its parent companies, because they are breaking basically the rules according to Russian point of view. And dear friends, as you know, it was all impossible to use basically YouTube with PC without VPN, but on the phones, YouTube was accessible, right? You could use YouTube still as normal, as usual, but the last several days, internet providers start slowing down speed of access to YouTube also on mobile devices, and that's why this question of fate of YouTube have been relevant again here in Russia. I guess situation is going towards complete blocking of YouTube in Russia, which is unfortunate. My take on all this topic of blocking these platforms. I am for competition. I don't support blocking platforms and stuff. Let's compete, especially when you are on the right side of history, for God's sake, man. Compete. All you have to do is share the truth, right? Just let the people know worldwide. Compete, but well, I guess number of Russian lawmakers have different reading of the big picture, and yes, soon YouTube probably only will be accessible through VPN, Although maybe one day VPNs, all the VPNs may be blocked also. Who knows, man? Who knows? One day Russia may end up as China is right now, when they have their own like closed internet kind of, and their firewall, so called. And as far as I understand, Chinese people have no access to through internet to any sources outside of China, and I guess some officials here in Russia are moving this country also towards that situation, that state. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but yet again, man, I just don't like when instead of competing, easier way being choose to block and destroy. No, man, just compete. You are on right side of history, man. What you are afraid of? Compete. The working conditions of the YouTube in Russia depend on their video hosting service itself. Technical difficulties have arisen due to its own fault, while alternatives to this service are rapidly developing. This was stated in the Telegram channel by the head of the State Duma Committee on Information Policy, Information Technologies and the Communications, Sergei Boyarsky. So, and I mean, yes, alternatives, as far as I understand, alternatives are really increased in popularity. RuTube, for example, there is a service here in Russia, YouTube, that's the name. I don't use that service, by the way. I have a channel there, and I was thinking to share videos on YouTube also, but then I realized that YouTube is mostly Russian speakers, right? And I have videos only in English. So who would want my content on YouTube, right? No one, or almost no one. And therefore, even though I created channel there, I believe I don't have content. Maybe 1 or 2 videos. I'm not even sure on that. But yes, some alternatives. Contact, by the way, is also making video service, video hosting, and is gaining popularity. Some other services, yes, it does works in that way. It encourages people to pay more attention to Russian alternatives, but there should be some other means, by the way, to make your own sources, your own applications or platforms popular. Blocking is not the way to go forward, but this is my take. I mean, what I know. I mean, who am I? Really, just a ordinary citizen journalist that comments some news. Anyways, I will end this update, dear friends, on this news that Telegram turns profitable for the first time, according to Durov, founder of this platform. Popular messenger Telegram has achieved over $1 billion in revenue, $1 billion in revenue during 2024, marking its first profitable year since introducing monetization. Company's co-founder and CEO Pavel Durov announced on Monday on his Telegram channel. So, well, congratulations to Telegram. I use Telegram platform. I have a channel there, right? This is the channel, by the way. So, yes, I'm okay with Telegram. Unfortunately, it is difficult to become big platform on Telegram. I don't understand these other channels, how they are managing to have hundreds of thousands of subscribers. I don't know. Maybe they are doing advertising or stuff. But anyways, congrats to Telegram. It is a useful tool, by the way, for sure. It is a useful tool. I use it all the time. So it's good to know that project is in good shape. And this is it for now. Hopefully you will find this update interesting, informative, and useful. And if so, please click that like button and leave some commentary just about anything. But this is the only way we can at least try to influence algorithm, isn't it? Last time we managed to influence algorithm was I don't know, months ago, when YouTube start do it with your likes and comments. Probably we managed to influence algorithm so much so that it started showing my update on in recommendations, and video had up to 20,000 views, I guess, something similar, 17 to 20,000 views. And next several days, by inertia, videos were gaining also more views, and then algorithm did its finger, it's shut down that progress. But it is possible. I mean, time to time we are managing to influence this algorithm, and therefore, if you can, please click that like button, leave some commentary, and if you like my work, if you want to support, you can do it. All the links are on this video in the description box and in the pinned comment. This is it for now, and before I go, dear friends, let me once again congratulate everybody who celebrates Christmas tomorrow on 25th of December. Happy Christmas.